Have you ever felt too ugly for a relationship? Maybe too unattractive, undateable, or maybe even unlovable? Here are my 5 tips on what you can do if you ever catch yourself feeling this way. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell below so that you'll be notified every time that I post a new video on confidence and self-love. I know exactly how it feels to feel too ugly, which is why the 5 tips I'm going to share with you today are the very foundation of how I coach my students from feeling unattractive to beautiful in their own skin. And here's how you can do it too. Number 1 is to remember that feelings do not equal facts. They can change many times throughout the day depending on different reactions to events or experiences that happen to us, our hormones, our mental health, and all various other reasons. So they should not be taken as a basis or the foundation of reality. As an example, how many times have you sat an exam or given a presentation and afterwards just felt like you did so poorly or so badly only to be surprised by the result later on? And the thing is, as women, for some reason, we seem to put ourselves down as our default. And so by judging our own appearance and whether or not we think we're attractive, we tend to do something very similar and tend to think we're a lot less attractive than we really are. So the next time you catch yourself feeling too ugly for a relationship, yes, acknowledge the feeling, feel all the things, but then remember or find a way to remind yourself that this feeling is not a reflection of reality. Number 2 is to do an audit of where you're getting your information from and purge any negativity. So if you're feeling too ugly, that's too ugly based on what? Based on what standard? What are you comparing yourself against? Is it something you saw on Instagram? Is it something you saw elsewhere? Is it something someone said to you? Is it a toxic relationship? Is it a particular group of friends? Think about what is giving you these icky feelings and feeling like you're inadequate or not attractive enough. Now, if you're in a position to, are you able to separate yourself or distance yourself from these triggers that are making you feel this way? So if it's maybe accounts that you follow on social media and they don't make you feel better about yourself after viewing their content, can you either unfollow or even mute those pages if they're not actually helping you in boosting your self-confidence? When it comes to relationships, then of course you can be the judge of that on whether or not you think it is best for your well-being to distance yourself from those certain influences. And then an added bonus would be if you could replace those negative voices with positive ones and positive content that really affirms you and is aligned with your values and helps you to thrive. Number 3 is to acknowledge the beauty and the fashion industries for what they are. Now, I am a lover of all things beauty and fashion, so I'm not dishing any dirt on either of the industries. This is just a matter of sharing with you how these businesses and these industries operate, which is on a model of planned obsolescence. What that means is they need to plan in advance when certain fashions and trends are going to come in and out. They need to change them in order to keep creating the demand for business and for the demand for us to keep on updating our wardrobes and so on. Now, where the danger lies is where trends go from just styles or colors or cuts to then body shapes, body types, certain silhouettes, certain body features, whether it's noses, cheeks, thighs, hips, whatever it may be. The minute we start to say a particular body feature is on trend, that's when we run into a little bit of trouble, particularly when it comes to self-esteem, self-worth, confidence for women worldwide. Because as we know, we all come in all different shapes, sizes, colors, you name it, all of which are equally beautiful. Now, when one body type gets prescribed as a trend, this means that there's always going to be a group of people who are going to feel left out or like they're not beautiful enough. There are also certain trends which are based off either celebrities or influencers who've spent thousands of dollars to modify the way they look surgically. And while that's absolutely in their freedom to do so, it may or may not be realistic for the average person, and it may or may not be realistic for you. So the next time you catch yourself feeling unattractive or like you're too ugly based off certain advertising or images you see on standards of beauty on social media, just take a deep breath, take a step back, and just remember that some of these images that you see may or may not be real. They could either be super photoshopped or maybe surgically enhanced. And then ask yourself, is this a realistic standard of beauty that I want to be comparing myself against? If you're finding this helpful, go ahead and hit that like button and tell me in the comments below, what trends are you ready to stop following? Now, number 4 is to remember this, that beauty is inherent. Everybody has inherent beauty, but attraction and perceived beauty is subjective. So what this means is that you have beauty no matter what, no matter what anyone thinks of you or whether or not people are attracted to you. That's just there. That's always been there and that always will be. Now, the perception of that may change from person to person. So that's what you call the subjective element of beauty. But whether or not someone thinks you're attractive is not the foundation of where your beauty comes from. Does that make sense? So on one side, you are always beautiful, and on the other side, perception of that beauty may change from person to person. If you're holding on to feelings of unattractiveness based off something someone said to you back in the day, like for example, I fell in love with my guy best friend, I told him how I felt and he said he wasn't attracted to me, then you need to remember that that is one person's view or one person's circumstance. And that does not mean that you are too ugly or too unattractive to be in any other relationship, or it doesn't mean that other men will not find you attractive, okay? I've heard time and time again the amount of times people have held on to these words that someone said years ago, and all of a sudden that's been the foundation of whether or not they think anyone else will find them attractive. But this is absolutely false. You are inherently beautiful. It's not based on what that person said, and there is someone out there who is going to find you attractive. And then last but not least is to remember that attraction is more than what meets the eye. Physical attraction is made up of not just how you look, but how you stand, how you speak, how you smell, and then also grows over time as someone is able to get to know the inequalities within you too. You are a beautifully intricate being. There is so much about you and so much that goes into beauty and attraction that there is absolutely no way that there is no one on this planet that's not going to find you attractive. Now, if feeling too unattractive is still on the top of your list when it comes to your fears or your anxieties around dating, then I want you to remember this. Do you really want to be with someone who's going to judge you or assess a potential future with you primarily based on looks? Now, I know looks play into attraction and getting all the things going, but there needs to be an ability to look beyond that as well. You need to be with someone who's going to be able to see you as a whole person. And the success of a future relationship isn't going to rely purely on the way that you look. So now you have your game plan on 5 things that you can do and remember the next time you're feeling too ugly for a relationship. Because you're not the only one who feels this way, okay? I'm making a whole video on this because it's such a common thought. So don't think that there's anything wrong with you in any way just because you feel like that. But if you are someone who struggles frequently with these feelings of being unattractive, undateable, unlovable, then I'd love to help you navigate your journey to self-acceptance. Book a call with me via the link in the description below. We can have a chat and see whether working together would be a great fit. If you have any questions, be sure to post them in the comments below so that I can answer them all for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.